Well, don't you think you should get it a texting plan? I mean, all the screens have one. Okay, so using text inside of PeopleSoft. I want to give you just a little bit of information on this. I'm going to breeze through it because I want to leave time for some questions. But it'll be here in the PowerPoint, which I'll have available shortly for download off the Hub website. A few different ways to do it. 3 ways. Internal SMS server, an SMS service provider, or an internal email to SMS provider table. Whew. Mouthful. So the internal SMS server, here's how that works. Basically, you have a database in-house that stores your in and out texts. You have an internally hosted application that manages the traffic in and out. You would get that probably from a service provider. And then it provides an interface to your enterprise systems like PeopleSoft. There are some SMS server software providers out there. Those are the most well-known ones that I could find, if you want to look at that. The texts get sent out from your system in a couple of different ways, either over an array of mobile modems that you have in your shop, or across the internet to the SMS service provider who then relays them out. The texts have to go in and out through an SMS service provider. So you're not going to be able to do it completely yourself unless you become an SMS service provider. The pros are that you can control the application and you have full access to all the data and it all stays locally. You can write native apps to act on texts as they come in. The cons are that you need additional hardware and expertise, and you need a service provider. The next one is actually a hosted solution. It's very similar to the first, except that it's software as a service. So your SMS provider sends and receives and stores the messages for you. You interact with them over an API that they provide to you. So you might use web services to pull down your text messages and to push them back up. Your user can send text to either a long or a short code. You see 5-digit codes, text this to 55224. That's a short code. You can also use longer codes, and that changes the pricing. There's some major service providers there that you can take a look at. The pros are this is a thin solution. You don't need as much hardware and software, and it's easy to set it up. But you have less control of the data. You have to use their security and interfaces and their reporting solutions. And since you're building integrations with that service provider and with their particular API, if you were to lose them, they would go out of business, then you'd be set back quite a bit if you build a lot of integrations into your PeopleSoft system. Another plan, this is kind of the El Cheapo plan, but it's the one that we used. Since mobile providers can translate emails into texts like this, you can maintain internally a table of providers and auto-generate email addresses based on the phone number and the carrier, and then send them as an email, and then it gets translated into a text message by the provider. And so that's what we did. We built an internal table with those, with what we need in order to construct an email that will go to a text message. Pros are you don't have to pay anybody for anything. You already can send emails, so you just send emails. Cons are that you have to maintain the table. Probably not that big of a deal. It's send only, so this means you can only push things out. You're not going to get back. They can't send you a text at 55254. You'd have to decide, well, are we going to do that, or what uses would we have for that? There are plenty. You can do approvals actually that way over text messaging, but this is only one direction. And then you have less control of the formatting upon receipt. Typically, it's going to stuff in some header information that you can't really keep out. It's going to say this is an email, and it's going to put in the message and the to and the from and such forth. So it's going to be a little more. You don't have as much control over how the text message looks. It will often flow over into a second message. Okay, so again, just a quick review. Internal SMS server, an SMS service provider, or